MetallicGear Neo Mini. I picked this up for a future build, and it's build is going to be, I'm not sure when I'm going to do it yet, but it's going to be sometime in the future. But I do got to do a lot of work to this case to get it the way that I want it. I haven't even opened it yet, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to open up, we're going to take a look at it and see exactly what we've got here. Alright, so let's take a first quick look around here. This is a mini ITX case here with a tempered glass side panel on it. You see there's a plastic strip on the front here. It's got USB 3s, I believe it's reset, and audio jacks. You got some mesh here for air intake. The thing I liked about this is the front panel. It's just a plain front panel with a logo just embossed in it there. And a nice simple power button up on the top. If you turn it around, you see the same mesh here, but on this side it goes all the way down, and then you've got perforated side panel here. The reason I got this is it's supposed to be a sandblasted aluminum finish, but I'll tell you right now, this isn't just sandblasted aluminum. This is looks like it's got a powder coat finish on it, so that's going to make things a little more difficult, because the whole point of getting this case was to refinish these panels. There's a view from the back. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's pop this tempered glass off and see what it looks like inside. Alright, so now we got it opened up. Let's take a look at it. As you see, it's a top mounted power supply, which is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. And according to the paper here, it will fit 190mm deep PSU, so I believe that's a full-size power supply. Slot for your micro ATX or your mini ITX motherboard. And then I originally had thought on the bottom here that I can mount 220mm fans down here, but I see there's no mounting holes for the fan, so it's just a vented intake. It's got a dust filter on the other side. And then it's got this plastic cover here for covering up the wiring access, but I'll have to wait till I get on the other side of that. You can also mount fans here, so I think that may be an option. And then of course you can mount fans on the front. You can mount two 120s or two 140mm fans on the front, or a 240 or 280mm radiator on the front. And I believe you can go with a pretty deep radiator on there too. So there's plenty of options there for like an AIO radiator mount. Now it looks like to me like this whole top piece is screwed on, which is nice because this has to come off. And like I said, this is aluminum here, as is the front panel here. You know, you can see that's a pretty significant chunk of aluminum, and then these plastic pieces are held on, as you can see, like now you can see they're held on by Phillips screws, so that's nice. All right, so as you can see, you know, you've got mounting holes for, I'm not sure if you can fit a radiator here, but I know you can fit some cooling fans here. And you've got some nice Velcro here, you know, to help with cable management. Cable management doesn't look like it's going to be too tough, as long as you don't use a whole lot of cables. Now it looks like you got a hard drive mount here for 2.5-inch drives or SSDs, and that pops out so you can install them and then pop it back in, and it goes directly on the other side of the motherboard tray, so that's kind of cool. When it's on, you can see the access that you got to the back of your motherboard. I mean, it'll access almost the entire motherboard, so yeah, that's kind of cool. And on the front here, like I said, it comes with a 120mm fan, and down here, I believe this is the board for, there's a LED light down there that shines down, and then these feet are just plastic with rubber pads on them. But you see there's a nice dust filter that clips in underneath. The inside part of this, all this black metal, is going to stay black. And this right here is, The one thing that I noticed that seemed kind of cheap was, I mean, just how thin the metal is on this bottom here. It's like really, really thin. But the case itself, I mean, even with all the panels off, is nice and solid. So I think the next step to do is get all this tore down. You can see the bottom here. You know, I need to, because I'm keeping this black. This is powder coated black and it's staying black, but the color on this is getting changed. So what I need to do is there's a bunch of rivets that hold this whole bottom section on. It got to come out, and a bunch of screws that hold the top section on. They got to come out, and then on the front panel, of course, I got to strip off the plastic on there. And then we got to go out and get everything stripped, sandblasted, and ready for powder coat. Alright, so after stripping everything down, that's pretty much all that's left right now. And here's the plastic feet. And these are, they're not rubber, they're like a foam feet, which is kind of cool because it'll be like a no-mar surface. And the screws that held these on were underneath. And then there's also rivets hidden underneath here on the bottom. See, this had a lot of rivets holding it together, a lot of rivets and screws, so it was held together well. And this is that piece of steel on the bottom, and actually it's thicker than I thought it was. Because the side was just so long and open, there wasn't a lot of support, but it's actually decent thickness for a bottom piece of steel. Here's the front aluminum plate. And I did realize one thing, that this isn't powder coat on here. I think it's just painted, because the feet are almost the same. And you know, you can tell where, let me find where there was a rivet at. Bottom would be a good place to show. You can see the paint's just like really scratched off. So if this was powder coat, it would take a lot more than that to take it off, because the powder coat is so strong. The only thing that I've got left to take off now is just these. I gotta unscrew these the rest of the way out. These are the captured thumb screws here, so I just gotta get those out, and then we take all these panels out. We can get them sandblasted. Now I didn't show drilling out the rivets either, because if you look at any of the other videos I did on case modding, you'll see it, plenty of times where I drill out rivets. You know, it's boring. If you really don't want to watch rivets being drilled out, you can go out and check those out. But for now, we're gonna go out. We're gonna get these sandblasted up, because we take them down to bare metal again, and then we can start getting powder coated. Alright, here's the parts all sandblasted. You can see this is actual sandblasted steel and actual sandblasted aluminum. And you can see the sparkly effect it has, and that's why they painted it, you know, with that sparkly paint that they put on it, which it was definitely paint. It came off way too easy in a sandblaster. But you know, the paint they put on it had that sparkly effect to make it appear to be sandblasted aluminum. But of course, if it was if it was just bare sandblasted, the steel wouldn't look like this for long. It would start to tarnish. You can see it scratches really easily, and as does the aluminum. So every little scratch would show up, and the aluminum being porous, if you were to like rub your finger on it, it would leave marks on it. Dirt would never wash out of it, and it's just not a really smooth finish. So that's why they painted it. And I don't know what the name of the color was, but they decided to call it sandblasted aluminum because, as you can tell, it definitely gave the effect of sandblasted aluminum. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get some color on this now. Alright, there we have it. The MetallicGear Neo Mini V2. All the parts have been done. Everything's put back together. The front panel, I put a different type of finish on here. I mean, it's powder coat, but it's like a granite look, and I think it looks pretty darn cool on there. And the rest of this is just pearl white. I didn't want to go with a stark white, so it's kind of like a pearl white finish on it. And the feet, of course, were plastic, so I just painted these black to match the front here. And of course the back is still black. And the fan, I did pull this fan out. I mean, the wiring is still back here, and I'll get that out later. But I mean, if you look at this fan, you know, I mean, it's not a top quality fan by any means. So I'll probably put some decent fans in here. So I'm just going to lay there for now. And unfortunately, you know, not being made of money, I can't complete a build in here right now. So this is going to get packed away for later. But I did want to get the case done and ready to go. I'm going to get the glass panel and throw on here. Alright, there we have it, finished product. Now, I didn't put this is the panel, it's still silver, that went in the back here, because I will probably end up putting fans there. If I do not, but if I instead, you know, just use 2 fans in the front, 1 in the back, then I'll probably paint this up black as well to put it in there. But in the meantime, I'm planning on having fans in there. I'm not sure what the fan configuration is going to be on this yet. I'm going to wait till I get a build in there, and then I'll try a couple different options, see which one gives the best cooling. But yep, for now, this is it. It's just waiting for a build. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and you know, stay tuned for a build in this case here. I'm not sure exactly what I'm putting in it yet, but I guess stay tuned and find out. Anyways, hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving and stay warm.